Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to upgrade or replace the thermal paste on this Lenovo Yoga. This is a Yoga 7 16IAP7, alright, the model number's there. Alright, so a lot of people have been telling me to use this Linus Tech Tips PTM7950 stuff, so I decided I'm going to use that. Let's go ahead and give this a try. This isn't going to be exactly a performance test. I'm just going to be showing how I install this, okay? This is my first time using this stuff, so we'll see if it's difficult or, yeah. Anyways, we're using a T5 Torx 5 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 3 screws up here. I guess this one, they're missing a screw in it. Hopefully the little screw mount's there because they asked if I could find a screw and put one back. I don't know because Lenovo likes to use special size screws. Anyways, 3 there, 4 down here. We'll see if I can get a replacement screw or not. We'll see what I have in my little bucket of screws. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish getting all these screws out. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Anyways, let's go ahead. Oh, actually, I probably should have left those in first. Okay, so the customer left their computer on, so actually let me shut this down real quick. Is the brightness? I can't really see anything on here. Where's their brightness button? Oh. Okay, so I need to shut this down first real quick. Sorry about that. Alright, let's see how this cover pops off. Usually I get my fingernails in the gap and then I'll push on the palm rest to see if that pops the clips, okay? So we'll go over there and see if that works. Okay. Alright, it seems like it's kind of working. There we go. You can see how the bottom cover is coming away. Just like that. Alright. But the side ones are kind of having problems. Again, they're missing the hinge screws here, so I'm actually scared to close this one because this one, it's pushing up on the cover. Oh god. Okay, you see that? It's separating there. Okay, anyways, now that we got that, I'm going to pull here, and then I'm going to slide my fingernail in here and see if we can pop the clips there. Oh, that actually came out relatively easily. Okay, so I was avoiding pulling this because I don't want to cheat since it's already popping itself out, but there you go. Then you lift this and slide this back. You see how it has these little hooks there? So if you try and pull this, you're going to actually break all these clips, so you don't want to do that. Alright, it's a little bit dusty and gross in here, so we are going to have to clean that up. Oh, wow. My god. Okay. It was overheating, definitely for sure. Look at that. Probably they don't even need thermal paste, but I mean, why not? We'll put some PTM in there and see how it works. All right. I think they said that you do need to refrigerate this stuff. So I'm going to do that. For now, I'm just removing this giant lint ball. I'm going to use a toothbrush, and then I'm going to clean all of this out. That is the most... What the heck? What the... There's a screw in the... Is it just magnet on there? Oh. I was like, are you serious? Did they... drive the screw into the speaker? That would have been stupid. But okay, I do see the screw mount down there, and this screw, it does tighten down. Okay, so I think we should be okay. I should be able to get those screws back in. I'm going to use a toothbrush and a powerful electric air blower. You can see this fan has problems spinning as well. Oh my god. So I don't think it's even a thermal paste issue, but usually once the thermal paste gets that hot, yeah, that's not good. So I should have left the, can I even get that stuff back? I should have taken a picture just to show my customer. Now they're going to be like, what the heck? Okay, because now it's not like padded on there the way it normally would be. Whatever, close enough. I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to show my customer. And then also, yeah, that's not good. So I actually have to repair this fan as well, not just the heatsink. So this is going to be actually more work than expected. All right, I'll zoom in. And then, yeah, I'm going to let my customer know because definitely it's going to be more work than expected. I'll show you guys how I repair the fan. Anyways, I'm going to clean this out and, yeah, use a toothbrush and then use a powerful air blower. And then I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this. I think most likely I just need to take it apart. It seems like there's some crunchy stuff there. Let's go ahead and actually disconnect the battery first, because I know somebody's going to complain and go, you didn't disconnect the battery. Well, actually, I'm going to clean it first. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. As you can see, this is a lot cleaner. Maybe I should try bending this thing flat as well. But yeah, this is a lot cleaner. There is like a little kind of dent in that fan fin, so I'll have to figure something out with that. Let me go ahead first and again see if I can flatten this thing out. I'm just going to use a popsicle stick here and a hammer, and we're just going to try and smack it flat. It's better. It's not perfect. Problem is I have to like bend it further outwards. I mean, it's definitely a lot better. Okay, I can try and push it from this side a little bit. Oh, it made the metal turn a little white from the bending. Right, well, oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, you can still see, and it has like a little bit white color from the metal bending, but yeah, it's only visible at certain angles. Interesting. Okay, anyways, that's the stress in the metal. There's two other things I'm going to do here. Because these screws are coming out, I'm going to check this one as well. Oh, this is for the power button, so I got to be careful here. I almost just ripped that thing out because I just lifted it up. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so power button is right here. There's a little flip latch. Looks like it's on this side, so I'm going to excuse me, flip that with my fingernail, and then we should be able to lift that and wiggle and pull that out. There we go. There's the power button. Very easy to replace. I'm assuming because a lot of these have been the Yogas, they've been having their power buttons break, so they probably redesigned it to do that. Okay, this screw was also kind of loose, so good thing we're taking this out. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to add a tiny bit of this red thread locker. I don't need that much, just a tiny bit. Okay, and we're just going to screw that down. I know somebody's going to say, don't use the red one, that's permanent. Like, it's not permanent, okay? Maybe if you use like giant screws and stuff, like on cars and things, then it's very hard to get out. But on laptops, because they're so tiny, oh, this one's actually broken. On laptops, because they're so tiny, it doesn't really hold the thread really well. I'm gonna try and lift this up while I unscrew it, so that way I can hopefully get this screw out. Nope, it's just spinning. The little brass thing, this where the plastic holds it, it's broken. So you see, it just spins. Let's see if I can somehow grab it with needle nose pliers. I can't even get in there. I'm gonna just try and push against it to create friction, and then hopefully we can unscrew it. There we go. This one definitely, if I put the thread locker, it's gonna be stuck there because nothing's holding that. I mean, you can try and put some, I mean, I could probably put JB Weld in there and spin it around, and then it will eventually like grab on. That it would have to sit there for a while to get a good grip. What did I do out here? I'm gonna use this little air blower to just clean that out a bit, and we'll actually give that a try. Okay, also if you're wondering, because I said like red thread locker, what do you think is already on there? You see that? It's red. So they already used red thread locker on this stuff. Okay, and even with that, the screws are coming out on their own, so. All right, we just need a little bit on here. Okay, and we're gonna get that in and tighten that down. Again, I'm gonna have to hold it in place because nothing else is holding it now. can I grab this with? There's no, there we go. Okay. All right, so it let me tighten that up. I'm gonna do the same over here. I think this one's also broken. Oops, sorry, you can't even see what I'm talking about, right? On this side, it's also, I can see the brass there. So that's also broken. So this thing actually needs quite a bit more work than anticipated. All right, we're gonna put the red thread locker here again. All right, again, you only need a tiny bit. Okay, and we're gonna tighten that down on there. All right, that should hold it well. Honestly, the middle screw is less important for the back cover, so I'm gonna put less, I'm gonna actually move that screw over to this side. Over here, where on this side of the back cover. And I'm gonna use that to hold it in place. And this screw actually, even though the plastic's broken, there's still more on the other side that's holding it, so that's good. All right, so there we go. Put that in. Next, we are going to mix up some JB Weld just to put in the, actually, okay, this side's not broken. It's just the hinge was lifting. You see that? You can't even see the, so we just need some JB Weld into this gap here, okay? And yeah, let's go ahead and do that. This is extra work. Because I didn't quote the customer for this, if they say it's not worth the cost, I'm not going to charge them the extra, but I'm just going to let them know what it would have cost if I knew all these issues were there. I don't like to leave stuff broken like that, especially if it's not a difficult thing to fix. So we're going to use a little bit of JB Weld here. There's two parts. It's black and white epoxy, okay? And I use 3 different screwdrivers to mix this up. Yellow for the white, blue for the black, and green for the combined mixed portion. Okay, so we'll open this up. And we're just going to squeeze out a little bit. We don't need a crazy amount. Even this might be too much. Okay. Actually, I don't know, because I don't know what's behind the other side. It might just be spinning around nonstop anyways. All right, well, they're getting this repair for free technically, so I hope it holds up. It should hold up well. All right, and then we'll get the black portion. Same thing. Oh yeah, no, that's a lot. Okay, mixing it, I think it should be plenty. All right. Now I need some paper to wipe off that because I don't want it to get stuck on everything. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stir the 2 portions of this together, and it's going to turn a dark gray. Okay. Just like that. And then I like to look at the back of this to make sure it's all mixed, and it looks good. Okay, so now we just got to get this into there. So the way I'll do this, let's see, is there enough room? It's awkward to hold this like this. We should be able to, yep, we can open the screen, no problem now. Okay, again, this screw's not really holding to anything, so I don't know. Yeah, I can't get it at a good angle for you guys, so I don't know what to do here. Oh, this computer likes to turn itself on. So let me actually unplug the battery because I still didn't do that. All right, we're gonna close this back up. Let me wait till the screen actually shuts off completely. Come on, shut off, turn yourself off. Okay, I think it's off, I hope. Okay, we're gonna disconnect the battery. So the battery connector is right here. There's not really much anything to grab onto it. You can kind of pull from the top. If you do that, you kind of want to work your way left, right, left, right. I don't know, it's going to be difficult to do that. So most likely, best bet is to actually disconnect the battery. So to undo the screws holding the battery in place. If you're wondering, the battery model is L21M as in Mary 4PE3. Okay. So there we go. There's a screw in the middle here. Don't forget that one. Okay, and also the screws are different. Again, keep them in order because They are different size, shape, and lengths. The one in the middle here is much longer, and it's silver. The other 4 seem to be about the same size. Okay. So now that we got all those screws out, we can go ahead and carefully lift from here, go underneath. What I like to do is I'll get my finger under here, okay, and then one on top so that we can pinch the wires, and we'll kind of just wiggle. So left, right, and there we go. Came out very easily. Again, there's the battery model, L21M4PE3. Okay, that's what it looks like. We'll set the battery aside for now. All right. Okay, so what else do we got? This one actually only has the CPU to repaste, so actually paste-wise isn't going to be bad. I thought I was going to have to do the whole thing. All right, you can see, let me show you all the connectors in here. Touchpad, trackpad connector here, keyboard backlight connector, keyboard connector, fingerprint connector. Oh, there's some gross stuff stuck to this. Let me clean that real quick. Jeez. And broken plastic. Okay, there you go. Get rid of that gunk. Oh, more broken plastic. Nice. There's so much broken plastic and stuff in here. Man, they really abuse this thing. Okay, anyways, there's that. Okay, you got the M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. You can use a full-sized one. They're just using a shorter one. If you use the full size, get rid of this metal bracket and just screw it down right there. Okay, you got the wireless card here. If you want to take the antennas out, you go from the tail and pop them up. One screw, then it comes up slightly and you can pull it out. There's this little cable, most likely for the digitizer. I'm not going to take it out to find out though. You got this cable on top, and then the other portion, it looks like it connects underneath the motherboard, logic board. That's for the USB board and the headphone jack. Alright, it also controls the speaker here, and this actually is for both speakers, so that cable connects here, then there's a wire that goes along, connects to the other speaker. Alright, CMOS, BIOS, RTC, real-time clock batteries connected here. This is a CR2032, alright, but it's in this little connector thing. There's a gray cable towards the outside, and then the black wire going towards the inside of the laptop. If you're going to replace this battery, I would check the polarity and make sure, because sometimes when you get shipped these batteries, the polarity is reversed. So you want to make sure it's in the right way using a voltmeter or something like that. All right, there's lots of like dust and stuff in these connectors, it seems. All right, there's a battery reset kind of button here. If your computer's having issues turning on, sometimes you can push that. You can actually access that through a hole on the back here. So there's this little hole. Oh, that's actually the one key recovery button, it seems. So actually that will allow you to go into the boot menu, the BIOS, and all that. Okay, so I think it might not be a battery reset. There's another speaker connected up here, and then it has a wire running along to the other speaker here. Okay, there's a tiny connector here, but nothing's in it. I'm not sure what that's for, but yeah, I think I went over everything. This is the LCD LVDS connector. If you're gonna mess with this, after disconnecting the battery, you wanna open the laptop, all right, and then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. All right, since we disconnected the power button, let's go ahead and plug it back in, and then I'll show you that process. You do need to open the laptop, okay? Don't just hold the power button with the laptop closed, because the computer is not gonna turn itself on. So pretty much it's gonna tell it not to push power. And basically what we're trying to do is drain the capacitors. Oh man, this little cable's so hard to, oh, I said I didn't know what this connector was for. I'm dumb. It's for this. Okay, there we go. Oops, sorry. Did it off camera, but there you go. And then slide your finger over to latch it back down and drop that power button back into place. All right. Again, open up the laptop, okay? And we're gonna hold this for at least 15 seconds, all right? A lot of people are like, do I have to do that? No, you don't have to do it, but it makes it a lot less risky to work on the computer, okay? And if you're gonna ask, like, do I have to do that? It's the same as, do you have to shut the breaker off for your electricity at home before working on any electrical issues? No, you don't, but there's a good chance you can electrocute yourself, or even if you're like, I know what I'm doing, there's always a chance you can accidentally mess up and then electrocute yourself. So just take that small little bit of extra time to do that. All right, it's only 15 seconds. And yeah, all right, let's go ahead now and get this JB Weld into that little hole. All right, it's a little bit tricky here. I'm gonna actually take this speaker out. So I'm gonna disconnect this cable by grabbing the edges and then just wiggling with my fingernails. Okay, wow, this thing's holding in there tight, but there we go. Just keep wiggling and it eventually comes out. It's not held in with any screws, just kind of pull up, okay, just like this. And there we go, we got that out of the way. Okay, so I know it's gonna be hard for you guys to see this, but hopefully you get the idea. I need to get into the corner here, so we're just gonna get in like this. Okay, I'm gonna need a lot more than that to go in. Just like that. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna spin the thing around, so I'm gonna purposely loosen it. Okay, and then just spin that. And actually, I don't think it's even disconnecting the thing, so as I spin it, it's pulling the JB Weld into the gap back there. So we're just gonna keep doing that until we get all the JB Weld out in there. Okay, get that in. Okay, it's surprising that the one that had the screw that kind of came out is the one that doesn't need repair. And that's likely because the screw was so loose, or that instead of ripping the plastic out, the screw just wasn't holding anymore. Okay, get that all in there. And spin it around again. Okay, I wonder if I'll be able to tighten it back up afterwards. Okay. All right, I think we got enough in there. Let's see how much I can scrape off of this. Actually, I made a lot. Okay. I actually made too much, but that's okay. We'll get that all in there. Okay, that should not break. All right. So after all that JB Weld settles, we should be able to remove the screw, no problem, even with that red thread locker. Okay. So we twist it that way. Let's see if we can go ahead and twist it to tighten completely. Nope, it's just gonna keep spinning and sucking in the stuff. Right, so most likely this, you can tighten more after it completely sets. But the customer's gonna have their computer, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, sadly. So I might have to just use my pliers, hold it in place, tighten it all the way, and then just let it set. All right, so since that screw is just going to keep spinning, it seems, I'm going to try and hold it in place with my pliers, and then we're going to just try and push the rest of the JB Weld in there afterwards. Okay, it looks like it can't even hold that tight. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so we got that. I need to clean my pliers off before it permanently gets glued together. So let me get some paper towel here. Okay. Yeah, I don't want my pliers to have JB Weld permanently stuck in the teeth. Otherwise, it's not going to grip anything. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we just got to get the rest of the JB Weld to fill that gap back up. It should be completely coated, that brass piece, and that should hold it in there. Okay, so we're just gonna now see how it sucked the JB Weld into there. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but it made like a little like vortex looking. Okay, so just push that in there and we should be good. Okay, one other thing I'll do is I'll put like a clear wrap there. All right, but to remove that, then either the customer will have to come back or they'll have to leave it here. Their choice, I don't know. Because then they'd have to leave it here overnight. JB Weld sets completely after about 15 hours. To be honest, for it to harden, it might just be a few hours. So technically they can just leave it here a few hours and then I can peel it out, and then after that we can do the rest. All right, anyways, let's go on to the fan, the original problem. Okay, we're gonna undo the 2 screws here that are holding the fan. And let's see if we can take the fan out. Okay, it wiggles. It doesn't quite come out, so I don't know if it's attached to the heatsink. I think maybe this tape's just holding it. Oh, yeah, okay, I think. Or is there a screw under? There might be a screw under here as well, sadly. Okay, but to disconnect the fan, get under here. Okay, get as close as you can to the middle of the connector and then just pry it. All right, there we go. It goes up like that. And you want to go to the middle. You can actually see the connector here. You see that little groove cut out in there? So that's so you can get something under there. So basically, I just got my fingernail into that groove and then popped it up. Okay. Now that we got all of that, let's go ahead and undo the heatsink. Okay. We got 3 screws holding this in place, and hopefully after that we can pull the whole heatsink out. Okay. 1. Do these stay attached? Okay, these screws are staying attached to the heatsink, so that's good. 3. Okay. There's likely some thermal pads here as well. If you're going to take this out, you want to be careful because you don't want to bend this piece. You don't want to bend any of this. So what I do to make it so I can take this out is I'll twist the heatsink. Oh, is the fan actually attached to the heatsink? Okay, so you see we twist and rotate like that, and now you can see how it's loose and coming up. All right, and here we go. All right, so we can now lift this up, and yeah, the fan, oh, the fan's not technically attached to this, but they put tape. Okay, so it's not like attached with screws, it's taped on there. Okay, so now that we have that out, we can get in here and then get more of this dust out. Let's go ahead and set this aside first. Okay. Now we have access to this. We can kind of get more dust out here. All right. And we can kind of brush this area off. Okay, so they have thermal pads here, but yeah. If I put that other, I got some thermal grizzly stuff like putty. That stuff's really expensive as well. A little tub was like 40 something bucks. So that shouldn't be required for this repair. The main one is the CPU. Let's see, this stuff, you can see it's solid on there. So this, that's still, these are still like mushy. So that should be fine. All right, we're gonna go ahead and use like a little tool to scrape the stuff off. Okay, so I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna just scrape this old stuff off here, just like this. Okay, and I'm gonna actually do this over the trash can, but you get the idea. Okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm gonna scrape this all off into the trash can next to me, so give me a second, I'll do that and I'll be back. Okay, we got most of it out. I need to do the actual CPU as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and scrape this stuff as well, and I'm gonna hold it over the trash can because I don't want to scrape it all and have it all drop into here. Alright, so I got this all cleaned up, and then I used an air blower. I think there was a piece of black plastic there that blew away. It's not really important, but yeah, alright. Let's go ahead. I was blowing and I'm like, what just flew off? I'm like, oh, pretty sure it was that. Alright, we're going to use some isopropyl alcohol and paper towel. Okay, I just poured a little bit on there, and we're going to wipe this off to clean off the surface. Alright, some of the paste is kind of stuck on there real good. But, you get the idea. Okay. Alright, they put a lot of paste. Like, I don't know why it was all the way out to here. It should not be all the way out to the silver area. But, yeah, alright. Clean that off if you want. Brush off anything, and then we can Clean it one more time with some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, same thing. Wipe that up. And then dry it off. And then blow away any lint. Okay, now obviously we need to clean the heatsink as well. Be careful again that you don't bend this thing up. Gonna get some more isopropyl alcohol. I'm gonna see about taking the fan apart and then see if I can reapply grease to it, because again the fan was kind of like getting stuck, and also there might be some dust stuck in there, so if it's easy enough to get apart, we'll do that. Okay. All right, look at all that we cleaned off. All right, still kind of gross, so let's get a little bit more isopropyl alcohol and try and clean it a little bit more. Okay. It's also oxidation, so that will keep kind of building up on here. So I'll dry it off. You can see it's still a little bit gross. Let it dry it off. All right, we should be good. I'll set that aside again. Clean that a tiny bit more. All right, so we have this set aside. We're gonna go ahead and see about working on the fan real quick before we put this back together. We're gonna switch over to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. All right, go ahead and switch here. And we'll undo these screws. All right, so there's 4 screws holding this down. And then we should be able to remove the metal plate. I'll see if I can somehow bend the crooked fin back in place. All right, those 4 screws are out. Oh, this metal plate comes off really easily. And you can see actually there's no more dust here, so we did a good job cleaning that. This doesn't want to come out. Oh, I don't think you can really bend it. Oh, it's cracked. Seriously? You see this? The fan propeller is actually cracked. That's another issue. Okay, well, let's see if we can pop the fan propellers off. So I'm going from the inside portion here, and no, that one's pretty hard to take out. So I'm not gonna mess with that because I don't want to risk breaking the fan more. But I'm gonna see if I can put a little, maybe super glue here. It's just that upper ring, right? Yep. I don't know if that will work because this upper ring is so thin. Can I glue that? I don't think super glue is gonna do anything. We need a very tiny amount as well. If we put too much, that's going to be a problem. Whoa, my super glue thing bottle's coming apart. Okay, so I need like a little needle or something. Let's see, let's just use this little plastic tool, okay? We're going to use this, and we're going to try and repair this fan. So I'm going to put a little super glue on the tip of this thing and see if we can somehow stick that together. I was wondering how that propeller was kind of like falling apart like that. Okay, so we'll just hold it together. And usually super glue you need to hold together for about 30 seconds or so. The problem is super glue usually doesn't work well on plastic, so I have a feeling this isn't going to do anything. Maybe I should have saved some of that JB Weld. Actually, it's holding. Surprisingly, it's staying together. Okay, that's actually holding itself together. Nice, okay. Since the fan doesn't really get hit by anything, I hope it holds up for a long time. It shouldn't come apart, but I guess if the customer starts having it like vibrating or something, then we're definitely going to have to do something about that. Replace the fan. And again, the fan, it can be separated from this, It's just that they put this adhesive on here. So if you want, now that we have this out, we can go ahead and peel this away. I'm going to separate the fan there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little bit less sticky so it's not annoying. Then when we need to take it out, we can. All right, so here we go. So this piece, when you go to put that in, the fan would just slide underneath now. Okay, yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and get this thing reassembled. Again, we are going to be switching it to the PTM. Okay. All right, we'll set that aside for now. Oh, we should put the fan back together. Okay. So let's get the screws back in. All right, don't leave this open. Okay. So we'll get that screw in. Get this screw in. This screw in. Get this screw in. All right. So now we have the fan reassembled. Looks good. I don't hear anything scraping inside, so we should be okay. Okay, as for the PTM stuff, we're gonna need to just have it go along there. So, how are we gonna measure this? Do I just use scissors? How do I cut this stuff up? I'm gonna get some scissors. I'm gonna clean it with some isopropyl alcohol, and then hopefully that should be good. I mean, I don't know how sterile this thing needs to be. I think when some people were saying when Linus was doing it, he was like touching it all with his fingers, and they're like saying that was annoying them because he's getting like the oils of his fingers in there, and that's going to reduce the effectiveness and whatnot. I mean, sure, it does, but I don't think it's going to make that huge of a difference. Anyways, we'll try and get this, and we'll try and do it cleanly so people don't complain. Okay, so we got that, and I guess I can mark it. You might want to be careful with this because dropping this, I don't know if the outer plastic is like electrically conductive or anything. So we got that, and then we can see we're gonna cut till there. Okay, so we're just gonna cut that piece there, and then I guess the difficult part will be separating to the two layers of plastic. So we got this. All right, we're gonna cut this, try and cut it as straight as possible. And then we're going to cut this way, same thing. Try and cut it as straight as possible. I guess you could always put a little bit extra if you want. I'm assuming this will also semi-smush out like thermal paste. Okay. So we'll cut that. Alright. Oops, I cut too far forward the other way. So now I need another computer that's the same size. We can do a test fit here. Okay, you can see it's gonna fit very nicely there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing in the fridge for a little bit so that I can more easily peel off at least one of the layers. And yeah, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. One thing is, since this thing is so thermally conductive, what is stopping it from just heating up and remelting right away the moment I'm just touching it? Anyways, I do need to clean off this a little bit again. I do notice there's a weird smudge on it for some reason. Okay. Probably from putting the thing on top. Alright, how am I gonna separate this? I guess I can use tweezers? I don't know. My question is, how do you get this apart safely? I don't know, man. I don't know. How do you get this apart? I don't know how you're gonna separate this from the plastic. Oh, okay, actually one side's peeling off easily. Okay, so this back side is peeling off pretty easily. So I'm going to hold it this way now, and I'm going to peel this off. Okay, and then we can go ahead and, oh no, let's go ahead and, oh no, it's leaving stuff stuck everywhere. Okay, we're going to try and carefully line it up. Oh, it sticks down. It sticks down like crazy. So be very careful when you drop this, it's just gonna stick. Yeah, it's hard to apply this nicely. We're gonna use, I gotta hold it with the tweezers. I think that's the best bet, right? Oh no, it doesn't stay on the tweezers. That's about as good as we're gonna get it. And then I'm gonna just pat this down. Pat, 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 pat. Let me know if you know what that's from. Okay, and I'm gonna just squeegee it across. Alright, and now we gotta peel up the other layer, assuming it will separate. Okay, there we go. Alright, actually not too bad to apply. I don't know about air bubbles and air pockets and stuff like that for this, but normally with thermal paste I'm kind of worried. You can see how it kind of has a corner that looks like it's kind of up, but hopefully the thing will just push itself back down. This, I'm going to actually bend it slightly downwards a little bit. Okay. It's not attached to the thermal, what do you call it, the heat pipes, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. Okay. Let me use a little isopropyl alcohol and then wipe the area one more time just to make sure. Okay. And then dry it off. Okay. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and put this, and I did, again, I pushed this down slightly so that way it makes sure to make good contact here. All right, we're going to get this all lined back up. Slide this back under there. Is that supposed to be like that? This antenna's, or sorry, the speaker wire is kind of going onto the keyboard. I'm going to try and push it out of the way because I feel like it's pushing up on the heatsink here. All right, now we're going to slide this under again, line it up. Okay. And these do have numbers on them. We're going to switch back to the PH1 JS1 screwdriver. So the first screw is this one. Screw that down. And then the second one is here. Screw that down. And the third one is here. And screw that down. And then double check. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so we'll see how well this does. Hopefully no thermal throttling. Hopefully everything works well. Obviously get the fan back in. This corner goes underneath. So set dust. Okay, this goes back underneath. Let's see if I'm able to slide this back under. Yep, we are. So yeah, there's no point for them to put that stupid adhesive there. I guess they're trying to get a tiny bit better airflow. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this screw in. I just loosely fit it, make sure, get the second one. All right, once I get both screws, I like to pull it against the heatsink to make sure we got a good connection. Make sure to push this foam piece down, and then we'll tighten the screws in place. There we go. All right, so now the fan connector, just line it back up on top and then push it down. Okay, and I didn't mention, but you want to be careful with pulling this thing up. I've seen where some people pry up the bottom connector itself. That's why I use my fingernails, because I can feel exactly what I'm prying. But yeah, if you use like those little tools and stuff, you can use the little plastic pick tool to kind of just get underneath. All right, we do have to put this speaker back into place, so just get it lined up. Okay. Push it back down. All right, make sure that the glue's not going on it. It looks like we should be good there. Line this all up and then pinch it in, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna clean this off a little bit here. because some of the epoxy is up here. I don't want that up there. Make sure it's not coming up. Okay, I don't think the cover goes down into that area, so we should be okay. Alright, let's double check the bottom cover, how it attaches. We have the battery. Oh, this does go a little bit down there, so I guess I'll put the little plastic piece just in case, alright? So what we're gonna do, you can just use plastic wrap. Where'd my roll of that? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, I have this stuff that they used for packaging things. Alright, when they wrap like the screens and stuff, sometimes for shipping things, you can get this stuff. Okay. But again, you can just use saran wrap or plastic cling wrap for food. And basically we're just going to put this here, so that way when we put the cover on, this will get shoved into the grooves and it won't get the epoxy stuff all over it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put the battery back in. Let's zoom out here. Oh, we need to see the whole area, huh? Okay, so we're going to get the whole battery back in. All right, line that up, line that up. Wait, let's go ahead and actually plug it in first. So get that lined up, pinch that into place, good. And then we'll just drop all this into place. All right, don't forget to put all the screws back in. Let me zoom out here a little more. Let's get a thumbnail here now that everything is fixed. Okay. And we'll just get all these screws in. And that should be pretty much it. We should just be able to power it on. This thermal pad's kind of crooked, so I'm going to line it up. And hopefully that will be okay. I wonder why it's crooked like that. Maybe it was stuck to the bottom cover? I don't know. And then it lifted it? Possibly. Alright, last screw here. Alright, let's get this thermal pad, lift it up, and we'll just get that back over the entire SSD. Okay, so there's our thumbnail. We're going to go ahead and get this thing back in. Oh yeah, that's probably what happened because this slides, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and slide the top back in. Lower it down, click the sides into place, click the front into place. And we should be good. Hopefully I didn't miss any connections that I undid. Alright, and let's go ahead and get these screws back in. We're going to switch back over to the T5 Torx 5 screwdriver. Again, I need to check if I have a screw that matches, since they're missing one. Oh. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's missing. Okay, so I can't put a new screw there because the plastic is broken there, so the screw mount is actually gone. Alright, anyways, now we're going to put this screw here. I guess what's going on, actually both sides of these broke, but somehow this one was still kind of holding on, but when I unscrewed it, it dropped that piece. So we're going to get this screw in. This one seems to have survived. Now I wonder what happened to that little rivet. Is it in there? If I shake it, is it going to rattle? Oh, it's in there still, somewhere. So let me see if I can get that out. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to let the customer know that they should wait till the JB Weld completely sets. Then I can open that piece and I can get that brass piece out. And yeah. I mean, right now, since I secured down the other two screws, it shouldn't have any issues coming out or anything. But it's always good to... Whoops. Cover just fell out. Okay. But it would be good to have everything lined up. Alright, there's plastic bits rolling around in here. Can I access this one? I can, but I have to disconnect the power button again. So let's, I guess, get the battery connector back out. Let's see if I can do it from here. I'm going to have to use a little plastic tool to get underneath. And the problem is I can't put that screw in. Okay, go ahead and pull these wires, pull that, and there we go. Okay, the problem is I can see the screw down there, but I can't glue it because if I move that into place, oh, it's wiggling around. It's stuck in there. I won't be able to wiggle pull it out until this completely sets. So let me contact the customer and let them know and then see what they want to do. All right. So for now, yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right. So I ended up finding a slightly shorter screw to go in here. And then I filled that area with JB Weld. The little brass piece that the screw goes into is covered by a thin piece of this metal. So what I did was I inserted the brass piece, and then I used the little tweezers to push it into place, and then the screwdriver I just pushed into the hole to line it up for the screw. Then I tightened the screw down, but first I actually lifted up the hinge, and then the metal piece here I bent down so it would hold that piece slightly in place. So then when I tighten the screw, even though the epoxy is not holding it well, I can actually, you can see, screw it in and unscrew it, no problem. That little piece stays in place. And let me actually take this out to show you. The other thing I did was I removed this little piece here, which I'll try and show you guys how I did that. So let me put this back in and then I'll show you. All right, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get a good angle of this, but the way this thing lines up, if you look at this piece, these pieces, they go towards the top. Okay, so when you put it in, it goes this way. Make sure, excuse me, you don't flip it upside down and have this portion on the lower end. All right, so again, I don't know how I'm going to show this on camera because I have no way to kind of hold it in place while I do this. But there's the, shoot, let me see how I can zoom in a bit more. I don't know if you can see that. So this kind of sticks out like that way, and then there's also another one here. These pieces need to go behind that, so you kind of need to tuck this. Okay, so if you can tuck one side first, kind of tuck it behind. The problem is this piece needs to go in at a weird angle here, and the one thing I need to wait for is for this stuff to completely solidify, because if I try and get that in and it touches that, then we're going to end up with JB Weld all in that hole. So what I'm going to do temporarily, because all the JB Weld is along this side, okay, let's actually leave this screw in here for now. All right, get the screw back in. Uh-oh, did I pushed it at an angle and now it's, uh-oh, what have I done? Okay, there we go. That scared me. I thought I permanently messed it up and then I'd have to, okay, we'll leave that tightened in until the JB Weld completely sets. But for now, what we're gonna do, again, we have that plastic film thing. Okay, so I'm gonna push this here so that way we can put the power button back in, and it will keep, it'll keep a barrier there to keep the JB Weld from going in where it shouldn't. Okay, so we'll just push that down like that. Make sure this is down all the way. Okay, we're not going to reconnect it yet. We're just leaving this here again, so that way there's a barrier. So if the JB Weld does flow out here, it won't be a problem. Okay, so there we go. Just make sure that's good in place. And then once this is completely set or partially set after a few hours, I can go ahead and put the actual little plastic piece that pushes this back into place. So wait, did I line it up right? Does it go? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes with that way up because, yeah, nope, that won't work. So this goes this way, and actually this little rubber piece, it's designed so that it hits this so that it can't push too far, because sometimes people kind of try and jam the button in really hard and then they end up breaking things. Actually, with this plastic in there now, let's see if I can put the piece back. Let's see, can I even take this out without it? Oh, no, that plastic's there. It's kind of tough. There we go. Okay, so we have that plastic. Yeah, it's in the way now, so it's not going to let stuff touch it. Okay, so what we can do, we can actually get the button in first. It is going to be tricky, okay, but I had to take that out to get the stuff into place properly. So now we should be able to hopefully get this in. Oh, this is going to be tricky, isn't it? Am I going to have to lift the hinge up to make this doable? Or do I have to shove that little bumper piece? Okay, I think I have to shove that bumper piece in first to make it easier. Alright. And then what you gotta do, now that we got that in there, I don't know how I'm gonna show this, but now that we got this button in there, we gotta raise this over, okay, and get that behind the little thing there so you can see we got that one in. Okay, now we gotta get this other side. Okay, try and get the button to go in the hole. There we go. Alright, and then you see how, oh, I don't know if it's even focusing, but you see how this is behind it. We need to lift it up and over and get that in there. And there we go. Now we got the button back in. You can see how it holds. Okay. So now we can go ahead and put this back in to let it set overnight. Okay. Alright, I think pushing that plastic thing in is kind of making it tricky. We need to get the stuff out of this little groove it's going into here. Let's try and get it on the other side actually. There we go. Okay, so that way it's not in the little, oops, sorry, in this little hole where the power button goes. So now we should be able to just drop this in easily. Perfect. Okay, we can go ahead and get the power button connector back in. Just line this back up. Go. Okay, now that's lined up, latch that over. Right, the clicky button works good. Alright, we can move this out of the way. If you want, we can actually tuck that down there, and then we can actually reassemble this and take it back out later. So let me show you guys now. Obviously, the reassembly is not very difficult. And we do have that one extra screw now. Okay. Let me lift this off. Okay, so now that we got most of the screws back in, we can actually reassemble this and then power it on. So I'm going to take this little screw back out. If this screw reaches, then I'll probably end up, oh, is it not going to let me take this out? Barely. Okay, it's kind of coming out. Okay, we'll see if we can get this in with the cover. Otherwise, we're going to have to put it back and then let it set before we can do that. Here's the battery connector. Obviously, just pull it back, line it up, line everything up, and pinch it in. Good. All right, I think we got everything else reconnected. We didn't really unplug anything else, right? Okay, we'll go in at an angle this way. And I mean, since you already saw how I got all of this together, I'm probably not going to make a video coming back for this one. So this should be the end of this video. We'll line this up. We'll take this little wrap out later. But for now, we're just going to snap all of this back in. Okay, let's see if this screw reaches. Otherwise, I need to use the extra long one. It reaches. Alright, that should be good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing all back together. We're going to switch over to the T5 Torx 5 screwdriver bit. Okay. And then put all the screws back, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, again, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, I do have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. If you could subscribe to that one, same profile picture but zoomed in. I'm trying to get that one to 1,000 subscribers before I stop putting my random review videos on this channel, and hopefully that will help keep things a little bit more organized. All right, and my content a little more themed, consistent. All right, so anyways, yep, we'll just get these last few screws in and we're good to go. This one was able to tighten in. I just had to keep twisting it until eventually it gripped. And yeah, all right, last screw. And that's pretty much it. All right, let's go ahead actually and power it on as well. We put new thermal paste in this, cleaned up and repaired the fan, repaired the hinges, so now it should open without a gap. Whoa, what is this gunk? Okay, there's some gunk in there. And now we should be able to open it with, no more gap is forming on the bottom. All right, let's see if we can power it on or if we need the charger. It is powering on, the keyboard is lighting up. All right, and there we go, we got the Lenovo. So yeah, we should be good to go. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching again, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Again, I don't know what the original temps were because this thing was already broken and having problems. So again, I can't really do comparison videos. People like to ask, how does it work with the new stuff? I can't tell you because I don't have experience with this computer besides what I just installed now. So yeah, anyways, all I can tell you is it's not overheating right now. And yeah, if my customer complains or something, or if they say it works better, then I'll post a comment here and I'll pin it and just let you guys know. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.